And if you act like you're supposed to be somewhere, people believe that you are, right? Like I wasn't even a speaker tonight. I just walked on stage. Just kidding. So our friend Matt walks on stage to unintroduce the CEO of General Motors. And the real MC is on the other side of the stage, and Matt just stares him down, and the real MC just backs away. And he takes the microphone, and he goes, "That was such an inspiring speech. It was so great to hear that General Motors is concerned about the environment and sustainability. And we're even more excited to announce that we have a pledge here for Rick to sign, committing General Motors to be the most fuel-efficient automaker in 2010. And we unveiled the pledge, right? So what we did was we put him in a double bind. Either he saves face and plays along and signs it, and then we have something to hold him accountable to in the campaign, or he does what he did, which is kick us off the stage and say we have nothing to do with these people. And the minute he kicked us off the stage, everyone in that crowd, everyone in that room knew that everything they just heard was bullshit, right? We didn't go up and say, "You're wrong," right? We just said, "Oh, that's great. Prove it," right? Put it in writing. And in that moment, we actually got 700 media stories from that. It was ran in 700 different locations. And so in the years following, in the 6 years following, I've been trying to think about, well, how can we infuse that creativity and thinking about targets and pressure with where my heart is, which is mass mobilization and with large numbers of people. Which brings me to about a year ago. Raise your hand if you were connected in any way to the fight against the Keystone XL pipeline. Yeah, cool. So we were about 1 year ago in Washington, D.C., helping organize a series of 2 weeks of sit-ins to stop the Keystone XL. And 1,200 people were arrested in these sit-ins, and it was a doorway for lots of new people. It was mothers, it was scientists, it was indigenous elders, it was religious leaders, it was students, it was farmers, right? And for many of them, it wasn't just their first time being arrested, it was their first time taking action of any kind. And my role was that I was a trainer. So every night beforehand, I would help train folks to then perform the action the next day. And one thing that struck me was the intergenerational nature of the audience. And on the third day, not the audience, the folks making the action. And on the third day, I was greeting people as they came out of jail with bottles of water and hugs and chocolate. And a woman in her 80s walked out and came up to me and she said, "You know, when I saw you young people leading these trainings, I thought, yes, the youth are going to save us. But then, as I sat in with people in their 60s, 70s, and 80s, I thought, no, we have to do it together." And tears leapt from our eyes, and we embraced each other. And it was so poignant for me because that's the kind of movement I want to build. I want to build a movement that's big enough for all of our grandmothers, right? Not just raging grannies, but all of our grannies, right? And I want to build a movement that's more nurturing than the rest of society, more affirming than the rest of society, more fun than the rest of society, a movement that invites us to take risks and holds us there, right? And I know that y'all are here because you want that too, right? Who wants to be in a movement full of our grannies? Yeah. And raise your hand if you've ever gone to an action and you've been wondering, like, did that really make a difference? Did I really make a difference? Yeah, a lot of us, right? And so that's why we're here together. That's okay, right? That's why we're here together at PowerShift, is to share strategies and ideas, not because every action we're going to do is going to be the most important, hard-hitting thing in the world, but so that we can actually build on the foundations that have been set before us. And I constantly ask myself that question of, you know, what are we really changing? Partially because the stakes are so high with climate change, right? That, you know, with the scale of the climate crisis, I often feel like there's a weight on my shoulders, that there's a weight on all of our shoulders all the time, and it's pressing us down. And even though that's probably not the most healthy feeling, it makes sense to feel that way, right? Because we know that this is the 332nd consecutive month that has been the hottest year on record since the last century. That's ridiculous, right? That we are actually teetering on the edge of human history. So no pressure right? And that we know that what we do in the next 5 years determines the landscape for the next 10 years, determines the landscape for the next 100 years, right? And because of that, liberation struggles throughout human history have always been urgent because for their participants, it's life or death. But for our struggle, we have that urgency and also a timeline imposed on us by nature, right? So the gravity of what we're talking about is really big, especially because we're in for a rough ride, even if we do manage to keep a lot of this carbon in the ground. Some real talk, even if we cut off all point source pollution tomorrow, which we're a little bit far away from doing, we still have 30 years of climate change coming down the pipeline because of feedback loops, right? And so we're, as young people, looking out into a world of water wars, land grabs, resource insecurity, displaced people, droughts, floods, famines, hurricanes, right? And so that means, as folks on the stage before me have said, we're not fighting an issue fight. That climate change isn't an issue. It's about migration. It's about indigenous sovereignty. It's about the economy. It's about healthcare, right? It's about all of these things. So we don't have time to fight it like it's a single issue fight. And for me to orient myself towards trying to win in that way, I really had to change the light bulb in my head, right? And I had to start to think differently about what it means to take risks. Because for me, all the self-expressive actions that I used to do and could feel good about myself and could feel right, didn't land the same way. I don't want to be right while the world burns around us, right? I want to play to win. And in order to do so, as we say in the Ruckus Society, to play to win, we have to break the rules because the rules serve the rulers and the rulers keep changing the rules, right? And as my friend and boss, Bill McKibben, often says, you know, a couple nights in jail isn't the end of the world. The end of the world is the end of the world, right? And so I'm ready to step up and fight for that. Are you guys ready to step up? So repeat after me. It is our duty to fight. It is our duty to win. We will love each other and protect each other. It is our duty to fight. It is our duty to win. We will love each other and protect each other. We will love each other and protect each other. We will love each other and protect each other. We will love each other and protect each other. And let's do one more thing. Let's everybody stand up. And everyone from here to my right, if you can face that direction and maybe take one step this way, and everywhere here to my left, if you can face that direction and take one step this way, we're going to do that same chant, but it's going to feel a little bit more like a football huddle. So like over here is the first part, we are unstoppable. I'm going to go like this, another world is possible. Ready? We are unstoppable, another world is possible. We are unstoppable. Another world is possible. We are unstoppable. Another world is possible. All right, wait. I think we need a little bit more rhythm with this.